Hello, everyone. It's Frances Halliday from Enfield Voices, GlobalNet 21. And we're doing yet another of our webinar interviews, all which are very interesting because they involve people who are doing some really interesting things locally, sometimes nationally, sometimes even globally. And it's good to hear what they're doing, and whether other people who are watching this want to be involved, then they can make contact. And today we're going to look at the University of the Third Age, which is a very, very interesting innovation, which has been going now for some 35 years. And we've got Frances Halliday with us, who is in the Palmer's Green and Southgate branch of the University of the Third Age. Now we're streaming this, and when we do, if you want to put any comments on, I'm sure Frances will pick it up later, or I will, and we'll try and respond to it. Anyhow, Frances, thank you for joining us today, and it's great that you've been able to do that. First of all, for those who don't know what it is, could you tell us what the University of the Third Age is, or what it's called, U3A? Who is it for?
Hello, Francis. It's for people no longer in full-time work. Now that's quite a loose definition because somebody could be caring for grandchildren, for example. They could be working part-time. So it's for anybody who has time and wants to take advantage of our services, because most of our activities take place in the daytime in the week. So it's for anybody who has some time and has some interest in what we do.
So that's really interesting that those people can be involved. And so what's the age range of people who join U3A?
We don't advertise an age range at all. So you could be 40 and no longer in full-time work. Typically people are of retirement age or coming up to retirement, as I indicated. We can, people come sometimes before they completely retire. Perhaps they've only got one day a week spare and they like something that we're doing, and they can join. So we have no lower age limit and indeed no upper age limit.
Yeah, I mean, people sometimes think it's for retired people, but you get young people that join it as well.
Well, I would say typically most people are over 60, and when I've been taking inquiries for membership, people often ask me that question because they want to know what our age group is. But I say it's about sharing interests. So if somebody has a particular interest, for example, they want to learn French perhaps, or improve their French, and they're slightly younger than our average age group, it doesn't matter because they're sharing a common interest.
Okay, so how did you yourself get involved in U3A? What's your story behind all of this?
Bit of a story, how long have we got? I was widowed quite early, prematurely, in 2003. I was living in Hampshire at the time. The U3As in my area were quite scattered. I could drive 10 miles to the north or 10 miles to the south. So I thought, well, and I did join U3As that were a drive away. And then I thought, well, we haven't got one in our town, a small town, Waterlooville. So I got together with some other people, and it's always led from the local population and led by demand. There is a national body, but they don't come around and say, you need a U3A in your area. It has to come from locals. So we approached the national office and said, well, we're interested in having a U3A in Waterlooville. And they said, of course, very supportive. And a meeting was called, and out of that meeting we actually formed U3As or planned to form U3As for 2 local towns, in our town, Waterlooville, and in Emsworth. So just from one meeting we formed or started to form 2 U3As.
And what happened when you came to Palmer's Green then?
I can't really know that. What happened? So 6 years ago, 5.5 years ago, I came to Palmer's Green and Southgate, where I actually live, no U3As. Similar story, U3As little bit further away, 20 minutes bus ride away in Barnet and Enfield. And I joined Barnet and they were most welcoming. So again, I approached the national office and I said, hey, we've got a hole here in Southgate. how about having one here? And immediately the local chairman of Barnet U3A was in touch. He's also involved regionally and nationally, and said, we'll get together and we can start working on this.
And how did you get other people involved on it once you decided on the idea that you wanted to start it?
I spoke, it was partly Barnet people, and the Palmer's Green community website is very good at advertising local events. So we put a bit of information in there, or asked our Basil Clark, who's one of our members indeed now, to put some information on, and a few people came forward and we formed a steering committee, or the start of a steering committee. The next process after 2 or 3 months were much advertising, standing outside supermarkets and flyers and so on. We called an open meeting at the Intimate Theatre, and we had 250, 300 people turn up. So there wasn't much doubt. We immediately proved a need in this area. So then there was a couple of months and some paperwork to go through and so on, and we held our inaugural meeting on the 23rd of April 2014.
Okay, well, let's talk about how you developed in a minute, because all that's really interesting, but just something first of all about U3A and what it is. I gather it was founded some 35 years ago based on a sort of French model. And I think Michael Young, who also was, responsible in some ways for the founding of the Open University, was involved in this as well, wasn't he?
Yes, indeed, yes. There was a small group of people in this country who looked at the French model, which is slightly more formal than our model, and evolved a model for the U3A, which is more informal, not quite so closely linked to the universities as the French version is. The French version is really based at universities, and I have visited U3A in Caen, and they do have premises in the university there. We tend to have a looser arrangement with the educational establishments in this country. Okay,
so you started it, and explain to us or explain to others, what's the difference between the U3A, University of the Third Age, and, for example, the Open University or the Workers' Education Association?
Okay, well, the Open University, as you know, is about studying modules and getting a qualification. The WEA does run formal courses and day schools and so on. We don't run formal courses. We're very, on the whole, we're very informal. So our learning takes place in small groups.
So is the purpose of the raison d'etre for you to learn from each other? Do you have speakers, or do you just have discussions where you do learn from each other? It's a sort of peer group learning organisation, is that right?
You gave me 2 questions there, so I'll answer the first one and say, yes, we do have formal lectures once a month, and indeed we've got Robin Lustig this afternoon, the 22nd of May, as an example, to speak to us. We have a variety of speakers on a monthly basis where we learn something from the speaker. Most of our activities take place in these small sharing groups that you've mentioned, and we have over 40 in our particular U3A on a number of different subjects.
So how many people would sort of turn up on a normal session?
We're talking about a small sharing group, Frances.
Well, both. Tell us what you do generally. And
on the monthly meeting, we have a membership of just over 400. Well, I think last month we had about 120 came to the monthly meeting. And that's really about for people who want to listen to a talk and also to receive information. Perhaps they're interested in joining, so we welcome visitors. We don't make a charge for visitors to come and see what we're about. So that's really the purpose of a monthly meeting. Section really.
And what's the topic for this afternoon?
Well, it's Robin Lustig, so he was a BBC correspondent on Radio 4, I believe. So the topic is obviously going to be his experiences while he was in BBC.
And how do you sort of source out and research and find your speakers?
Well, since we started, we've had one lady doing this job, the speaker secretary, and she seems to magically produce a very wide variety of speakers, from her contacts, from maybe from things she's heard elsewhere. She just produces it, but she keeps on generating these ideas and putting the program together.
Oh dear, so what would you do if she decided to go and live in Spain?
People do. We always, we have other volunteers. I should stress that we're a volunteer organisation, so obviously if this lady couldn't do it, and this does happen, or if people become unwell, then obviously we have to look for another volunteer. Typically, our volunteers with the main jobs are on the executive committee. We have a committee, 10 or 12 people. So the executive committee would need to recruit somebody else.
Okay, but you also said that U3A is not just local, it's part of a national organisation, isn't it? So, you know, how many members do you have nationally, and how is it organised on a national basis? Right,
well, currently there are over 1,000 U3As. They're all autonomous, by the way. Each one is set up as a separate charity. And then we have an umbrella body called the Third Age Trust. But you asked me also how many members we've got. We've got about 425,000 members in the UK currently, and it's going up all the time.
Well, that shows a great need and a great thirst for learning and for making contact and for conversation. So the sort of legal framework is pretty democratic, is it? There's a trust overseen by a board of directors. I gather any U3A member could be elected to that, but you're given total free rein locally to run as you like. And each of you, that surprised me, each of you is an individual local charity.
That's correct, but we obviously, there is an ethos and some guidelines and from the national organisation. Now, the national organisation, the Third Age Trust, is an umbrella body, so we belong to that. We belong to that as a U3A, and our members belong to it, and we pay. There's a capitation charge which we pay to the Third Age Trust. So there's two structures here, really. There's a local body. We need to keep in line with the national guidelines, and indeed things like our constitution, they need to approve it before it goes to the Charity Commission, so that we are all operating really under the same umbrella.
And what services does the national organisation offer you as a local branch?
They provide legal services and advice, educational services such as resources, any questions we have, or insurance, public liability insurance, most important. All our members are covered by the National Public Liability Insurance, whether it's in houses or outside in rooms or halls. So that's absolutely crucial. They provide advice, they run national summer schools, coordinate national summer schools, and do all those things that a national charity does.
Oh, so they give you the legal framework, which is necessary. They provide the support, and they help you in all sorts of other ways. Tell us about Enfield then. I mean, you belong to the Palmer's Green and Southgate branch, but there are two branches, aren't there? Do you want to tell us what they are?
I will, but I have to tell you, pick you up very slightly. None of us are branches, because as I said, we're all autonomous, so we'd rather put an X on the branch word, but I'll let you off anyway, because we didn't discuss that.
Okay. So you've got two autonomous groups in Enfield.
Correct, yeah, in Enfield Borough, yes.
Yeah.
And obviously there could be more.
Well, tell us about the other one as well. Where are they both based?
Much older, it's over 20 or even 25 years old. So that was set up in probably what we call in the first wave of U3As. That they have several hundred members and they operate in a very similar way to ourselves. Now the only difference, if you like, is in which particular groups we run or we offer. because they might offer a different set of groups to our set. However, there is a lot of commonality. If you look at all the U3As in the country, there's some groups that are probably almost 100% of U3As will have. And then each U3A will have its own unique youth subjects as well, or groups.
So are you totally autonomous, or do you share each other events? Do you say to Enfield people, come to our events, and your people go to theirs as well?
There's not a lot of crossover, except that we do share membership. So, for example, some of our members are members of Enfield as well, so they make a choice that they can do some things with Enfield and some things with us, and that is absolutely fine. We encourage that. We have invited Enfield Youth 3A to our celebration next month, so we hope some of them will come, and I know they have some leaflets which they're putting out for us. So there is some commonality, if you like, and some crossover.
Is there any difference between the two organisations in the terms of what you offer and what you do?
Well, I can't tell you for sure exactly what Enfield offer. I can only really tell you, without looking it up on the internet, what we offer. So we offer several book groups, several language groups. We've got a very strong travel section. We've got all sorts of different groups, academic and non-academic, if you like, but all our learning is very informal. One thing there is a crossover with actually is the bridge, which I'm very interested in. I proposed that we had a bridge group in our U3A, and Enfield U3A had some beginners, but they didn't have a beginners group. So we took some of those into our group. So we are working together at the local level in that respect.
So how many sort of activities would you have in 1 week or 1 month?
I can't do a count without literally looking it up, but a lot of groups only meet monthly. For example, I mentioned a book group, or a poetry group, or a play reading group. I'm only looking at the literature ones because there's lots of others. A gardening group, for example, or a garden visit group. They might probably only meet once a month, but some groups choose or need to meet more often. In fact, with the example of bridge, because it's such a complicated game and it needs a lot of practice, we meet weekly. Most groups, I would say, meet monthly or twice a month is typical.
So these groups, they become almost autonomous, do they, within your own autonomy? In other words, they're self-organised. If you have a book group, they meet together. You may not even know when they're meeting unless they tell you. They get together, they decide what they're going to do, and they do it autonomously on their own.
Absolutely. And what we've noticed where we do have these multiple groups, for example, for books or art, each group within that topic operates in a different way, which is interesting. So each group has a convener, and with the convener and the members decide how they're going to run that group.
So do you learn from each other about how you organise groups and how you organise learning experiences? And, you know, from that learning, how can you help each other?
Right, well, there are different sorts of groups, really, depending. If it was, for example, a current affairs group or a discussion group, then that doesn't necessarily need somebody with special skills to convene it and coordinate it, or they may even take a topic each month and a different person leads it. And then you've got the groups that do need some sort of skills which the convener has, for example, French or Spanish. However, some groups can actually be completely self-taught because they can go and find materials, even language groups that actually go and find materials and teach themselves.
So, you know, in a way, your success is the proliferation of these groups. And if you don't know about them, that might be even more successful because they're growing spontaneously. And that's presumably what you want.
Absolutely. And according to the demand from the local members, we're very keen if somebody comes and joins us and they say, oh, why don't you have a certain group? For example, we haven't got an architecture group in our U3A. If somebody came forward and said, oh, you haven't got an architecture group, but I'm interested in architecture, we'll say, fine, we'll advertise this for you, find some other people, and we do facilitate the first meeting. So we would facilitate the group. We have someone who looks after the groups, and we would help the people at the beginning with resources and perhaps suggesting meeting places, because we don't have premises either. We have to share, either rent premises, borrow premises, or meet in people's houses.
On your sort of regular meetings, monthly meetings where you have speakers, you told us you've got one this afternoon. Tell us about some of the other speakers you've had, that people, to give some people an idea of the sort of interests you cover.
Well, we've had general speakers. We had one from the local hospice, the North London Hospice, last month, and that proved to be very interesting. We've had just a complete different range of speakers. We've had talk about beekeeping, for example, but our speaker secretary selects good speakers from the field of speakers, if you like, people she's heard elsewhere, or so it's a very wide range. And I would suggest, if people are interested, they need to look on our website, please.
Okay, well, you can give us the address of that right at the end of the interview. Obviously, you get people together and they meet together. Do you ever do anything online, any online getting together of people through Skype or any other system so people can learn online? Or is that something that you just don't touch?
It's a possibility. I'm not aware that anybody in our UCA is using that. However, there is a national UCA for people who can't get out and about. So no doubt they actually talk to each other using media such as Skype.
And if people wanted to find about that, is that through the national organisation and the national website?
Sure, yes, definitely, yes. But I would say, actually, one of our strengths, really, Frances, is the fact that we do actually meet face to face. That we are actually, and this is where it's good to have things so locally, because even in London, even with free bus passes, people don't necessarily want to travel for 20, 30 minutes. They want something local, and that was one of the things that came up when we first started talking to people. We want to meet local people. Many of our members have worked in London or a bit further away, and they don't know their neighbourhood.
So what are if you meet locally, which you obviously do, what are the sort of locations you meet in?
The Beaumont Care Home is very helpful. They're lending us rooms a couple of times. Well, for one of the bridge groups, and I know one of the art groups meet there. Church halls are very helpful. Rooms are not easy to find midweek, but we do use Holy Trinity at Finchmore Hill, for example. For our main monthly meeting, we use the Bourne Methodist Church, and they very kindly let us use the hall. We did find the Intimate Theatre, wonderful space, but a bit too big for us for a monthly meeting. So although we started off there, we looked for somewhere a little smaller, because we don't need a 300 or 400 seater theatre.
But do some of your spin-off groups, like, for example, the book groups, do they meet in each other's homes? Mostly
in homes. The other places we meet are actually in pubs. Not that we're all boozers, but we meet in pubs, buy a drink and no charge made for the room. That works well for some groups. Noise can be a problem in pubs, but so we really need a separate room if possible.
So when you do all this, and members obviously, go to a lot of things and enjoy it, what sort of feedback, how do you know, what benefit people get out of what you do?
I think by what the members tell us and the fact that they keep on renewing. You can tell whether your members are happy or not. And when I was the chairman of my last UCA, believe you me, and indeed this one, believe you me, if there's something wrong, people are quite quick to tell you, and then you deal with it accordingly. But I think the fact that people keep coming and they join and they look happy and they're all coordinating with each other and talking to each other is a very positive sign.
I mean, the fact that you do this and your age range, a lot of people are retired, you must be helping a lot with problems of loneliness as well. And I know that you've got campaigns on that, like social prescription and so on, but loneliness must be one of the things that you address through what you do.
That's right. That's what people tell us. A lot of people tell us that perhaps they moved to an area or they've been bereaved, and this has been a lifesaver for them. Just to meet with other people, like-minded people. We always say you'll be meeting with like-minded people, depending on what subject you choose. People who've got the same interests as yourself, and many friendships build up through this, and through the travel outings, for example, is very much about travel outings and holidays. It's very much about being sociable as well as learning.
So can you be, and are you at times, a campaigning organisation? Because I saw the letter that was sent round about social prescribing of general practitioners, so they prescribe social things rather than medical things. Are you allowed to do that, and do you do it?
Well, we're not permitted, and we shouldn't be doing political campaigning. So I guess the answer to that is only on subjects that actually, topics that actually directly affect our U3A or our U3A national organisation, and we really leave that to the national body. Have a new chief executive in place at the Third Age Trust. There's an office in London with some 12 or 15 employees. It's very economically run, should I say, and then they have an elected board of trustees that we vote in from the regions. So I think you would say that we leave that mostly to the national office. Okay,
that's probably wise. Tell me then, you're coming up to your 5th year, your number 5-year anniversary. Do you have any plans to celebrate that?
Yes, well, we actually had the 5th anniversary. It was on the 23rd of April, and we're having an open day in June, on the 22nd of June, and in the afternoon, it's a Saturday. We've got a number of our groups are putting on displays, and we're putting some activities on. We're really opening that out to the public as a showcase, and to invite people to come along, see what we do, and see if they're interested in joining. But it's also for our own members as a celebration, because if you're in a particular group, we don't necessarily know what the other groups are doing. So we've got art and photography and so on as displays.
I mean, do you, on your own initiative or through the national organisation, sometimes get groups together that exist in different areas and learn from each other, or are you totally separate?
I would say we're more separate than together, but some subjects do have a national subject advisor. So they might be an umbrella and distribute information about national events. I know from this point of view of science, we have a very active science group in our U3A, and there is I think a national conference at some time of the year for science, for example. So, but that's not particularly common among the groups. I think I mentioned before that there's summer schools on specific topics, and members can decide to sign up for summer school. We have residential summer schools, and then we have a summer school in London, which is a day school, takes place in central London, so members can sign up for that.
Well, so you do get together in those summer schools, and that's a really great thing. Do you have a newsletter that you send out to people so that people can find out what you're doing?
We do. We publish a quarterly newsletter for our own U3A, a printed one, which we make sure every member gets. Most of our members are now on email, and we send out a bulletin fortnightly as an update. Now, we've always been aware that not everybody gets that because they're not on the internet or they don't read their emails. So we do have printed copies of that available at monthly meetings, which is a benefit for some members. They can find out information at the monthly meetings.
And presumably you're funded basically by the membership, you're self-funded as well.
Absolutely, we don't receive any outside funding. Our current membership is £18 per annum, and that covers attendance at the monthly meetings, attendance at groups, but there may be some additional charges for rental and other expenses, for example. So,
okay, so, well, we've come to the end pretty well of this half-hour interview. So if people wanted to get in touch with you, if they wanted to find out what you were doing, where would they go? What would they do?
but by far the easiest thing is to Google Palmer's Green Southgate U3A, and our website will come up. No doubt you'll put the website on anyway, and then there's a phone number on there, or a message can be sent either to the chairman, secretary, and so on, or to an individual group coordinator. So if a member of the public, for example, wants to find out how to join a particular group, they can actually send a message direct to the group coordinator in most cases, and hopefully they'll receive a reply fairly quickly as to what
okay, and in the interest of balance, if they lived in Enfield and they wanted to find out what was happening in the Enfield group, where would they go for that?
Enfield has its own U3A website, its own website as well. I think it's true to say that every U3A has its own website.
Okay, I guess at some point I'll have to interview the Enfield U3A just to give balance, which will be good to do. Anyhow, I mean, Frances, thank you for doing that, because that's really interesting. And I'm absolutely surprised the number of people you've got involved, and you know, the input and the number of activities that you have. I think that's really impressive. And I think a lot of people will be interested in the things you're doing, because clearly you're fulfilling a really, really important need. So thank you very much for doing this, and it's been a really interesting interview.